welcome to this video. I'm basically working on a W204 C-Class coupe. The reason why I'm doing this video is actually for a couple of reasons. One, I'm doing it with a Symphony kit. I've done an update with a saloon with the normal LED bead kit, but this is a coupe. I'm doing it with the Symphony kit, and there's basically a couple of differences, especially with regards to doing the rear. So kind of wanted to go over a few things and discuss a few things with you guys as to what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and make it very clear as to how to work on a coupe versus a saloon. It is very different. It is not as easy, and doing the rears and stuff is a bit more challenging, but we will get there in the end. So with regards to taking apart the rears, I'll show you all how I've done that. It's not that bad actually on this car, but the challenging part will be getting a live enough to them. So in a moment I'm going to sort all of that out and I will show you all what I've done. So with the W204, we do need access to the wiring underneath here and the space underneath here. So first up, remove these guys. So this is the easy one. Two and three. We've got two screws just here. They are both T20 if I remember correctly, or there might be T25, but I'm just going to get the T20 screwdriver and then we'll be able to take this part out. It does require moving this a little bit as well, so this is what I mean. It's a bit awkward to do. But you can get it around the gear selector, and that's that. So now we've got access to the livener for the cigarette lighter, and we've got access to the sides as well. So to move around the footwell wires, we can work with that. We are going to need access to getting a strip going across the dashboard. There's a couple of ways you could do it. One going across there, one going around this, one going across there, but that one's a bit harder because once this opens, you basically lose a little bit of the grip there. So that's one that needs to get done. I'm also going to be looking at doing the dashboard as well. So it's a little bit different with regards to that. We're installing a Android head unit here, so that is something that I need to get access to, just all behind this. So up next, take off this trim piece. There's a couple of tabs inside here as well. So I'm gonna try and record it this way. So just inside here, you've got just there, you can see it a little bit. It's so hard to record in there, but there's these little tabs that you just gotta basically poke through with one of these trim tools, and you'll be able to get it to stay open. There we go, there's the one. So pop that one open. Gotta do the same on the other side, and then you can slide out this whole trim piece. I'm going to loosen it up on that side as well. I'll show you all how it looks. So if I just come in through here with this trim removal tool piece, I can basically just loosen it up. Right, now I'll go around to the other side. The left side's completely off, so now I've loosened the clip on the right as well. Take apart this part as well, which actually, there we go. There's the first piece off. If I remember correctly, this piece just slides forwards as well. Yeah, there we go. Now the next part we've got to do is just move these side pieces inwards like that. So I pushed it in, came off. Same with this side here. There we go. And we've got two screws, one there and one on this side, and we'll be able to basically undo this whole piece. So got those screws off. I've just lowered the steering wheel down to make sure it's as low as it can be. And then from here, so this is all like one big giant piece of plastic. So we need to just unclip it all, bring it forward bit by bit. It's a little bit awkward because you've got the steering wheel and everything in front of you, but rest assured it is possible to bring it out. There we go. Right, so it's been slid forward. I can already feel some of the wiring behind catching, but there we go. Disconnect the first one. I have another tool, you can basically bring it forward. So there we go. Those are the two bits removed off from here, and that's the screen out. And I'll show you guys the back as well. So you can see clip, clip, clip. This is kind of like a marking point. Got another clip here, and then at the bottom we've got a curve and a curve. So this basically slides in and then clips upwards. So you just unclip and then slide it out like that. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, need to remove this old screen next. And once looking at it, you can see just how the new one is going to fit, in essence, over on top of this. Right, let's remove this old screen so we can allow the new piece to fit in there nicely. Just want to say, just how cool does that look? The dials just with nothing in front of them. I think the dials look really cool like that. So when you have the screen here, all you got to do is just unclip it here, and it should allow the whole thing to just kind of pop out. Or you've got a little bit of a clip on the sides as well. There we go. There is the old screen off. And the fascia is ready for the new setup now. So the next part of installing the head unit is actually removing the original one, which is held in by these two T20s. Now, how I like to do this is I've got this little attachment part to the small ratchet, and you can just basically use this to loosen them up. So you just gotta, you ideally gotta do it with two hands, but once you've cracked it loose, you can pretty easily just unscrew it, and then you just gotta push it downwards afterwards. Same on the other side. I need to undo this one a little bit more. There we go. So after unscrewing it a fair amount, you'll be able to slide it forward bit by bit, and then from this point I will need two hands because I don't want to just let it drop and stuff, but you'll be able to then unclip everything and you can take this out basically. That we just need to undo. There we go. First one off. So the one on the side is just over here, which is that one just dangling there. And this is how the back of this looks at the moment. So I've already taken off that one. Just need to bit by bit see if I can do this all with one hand. Probably can't. It's really awkward. But those are the rear ones. We're just going to slowly take them all off. Another thing that I've done here is this. I've pulled the carpet forward a little. This allows you to pull in the wiring for the footwells just through the gap just there. And now I can route this into the nice proper areas. That does mean, you know, it saves a lot of time trying to faff around with finding other ways to put the footwells through. This is genuinely the best way. And as you would have seen, I've already opened up this side area here, and I'm going to show you all how to do it on that side. Reason why I'm showing you it now is because I've got these wires to run through for the other side and over here. So we are coming in through to the back just over here. Now I want you guys to be aware of something here. It's only this section that we're taking off. This stays, the bottom part here stays, this comes off with it. What we've got to in essence do is get our fingers in behind here, pull this forward a little, and then bring it along around the bottom, up the side, and then bring it forward in this corner. Just be careful with the actual trim piece. There we go. Pull that forward. Put it all forward. There we go. It's all popped off. There is a wire for the tweeter up here as well, which you can just unclip. And that is the panel all removed. Nice and simple. Let's take this outside now. So everyone, to take apart the doors, it's a bit of a funny one on the W205s, purely because there's a hidden little clip behind here. It's very awkward to get to, so you gotta basically pull this trim piece off. We'll get to that in a moment. We've got 3 screws that we can take off, 2 underneath here, 1 just behind this little trim piece as well. You don't need to take off this panel, but I like to take it off because it means it's one less thing to like fall off as you're taking the whole door card off. This is held in by literally a couple of plastic clips, and you just pop it outwards and it will come off. We'll need a trim removal tool, like a picking tool, to pop this panel off as well. There we go. That one's out. So with the T30, first one's off. So, trim removal tool, we're going to pop this forward a little bit and get access to the one behind here. We will need some pliers as well, some thin nose pliers, and then we'll be able to take out the little clip there. So my trusty friend, gonna work our way around. Alright, so I really don't understand why Mercedes made it this way, but they did. There we go. Slide that forward, thin nose pliers. We're going to pull this piece out. Just got to use the pliers, grab that section in the middle, and it slides out just like that. And then, there we go. Pull towards you. That's everything removed. So with the rear trim panels, if you're going to use the Symphony kit or the LED bead kit, you can basically only do about up to here. I've stopped it before the curve because what ends up happening is as you curve it, the depth of this isn't that thick, so it keeps popping out, and because of the curve and the way the material of this is, it just kept on falling out. So went against that, just doing the straight line up to here. I've done the same on the other side as well. And now in order to get this to look like this, a small hole has to be drilled into this corner so you can feed in the LED bead through this way out to the other end and then put it in place. And now I've got the cable here. That now means I can actually wire up a live and earth. So here's what I've done with a live and earth. We've got the module mounted here. I've got everything all taped up. So I've got live and earth that's come up into the center console there, brought that along underneath this trim across, and then if I bring this back forward again, separated it up so one section goes to this door and then the other one goes all the way across over and onto the other side. So now I'm just going to put that door back on. So in order to get the front doors done, to get this strip going all the way across, I've started it on this end and I've fed the cable through this little gap here, and you can just press it in with one of these trim removal tools or like pressing in tools. You can just basically wedge that cable in through this gap and it ends up looking like this, which is perfect because that's exactly how clean of a finish we want. I ended up needing to cut it a little bit on this end just so it ends with the silver trim piece, but this looks perfect. You can't tell that that's really there. You know, if you're someone new into the car, you wouldn't think that's an aftermarket thing at all. The other thing I've done is I've removed the original door handle ambient light, taken off the casing for the aftermarket ambient light door handle, and I'm basically slotting this back in, so this will give it the like a secondary color option as well. And with the other end, we're basically gonna drill a small hole into the top corner here, and we'll be able to have the door storage light as well. So with the doors, everyone, on this white connector here, we've got the red, which is the live, and the brown, which is the earth. And that basically means the door's set up to put everything back together. This is how I've got it to look. You can hardly tell anything's really been done even from behind. Just got the one cable going up there, the live and earth just over here, which is going to be alongside these ones. So super clean. You can hardly tell that anything's been done. So for this LED strip line that I've got that will be powering the one going across, I fed it through this area, and then I brought it down under to here and then around this gap and brought it out so it's underneath here. This way it shouldn't interfere with the sliding mechanism at all. And now I've just got to basically connect this up, and then the live and earth on this is for the cigarette lighter. The brown is the earth and the pink is the live, or pink and yellow. So you can use the blue and white if you want to use it as a headlight ignition, but I'm using the pink and yellow because everything will be turning on with the car's ignition. So yeah, we're going to just connect into these with a T connector as well, and yeah, should be able to then use this and then power up everything else. And now I need to just sort out that and get this panel put back on, sort out the footwell lights on the other side as well as this side, just make sure they're all tidy, and then I can focus solely on the head unit and the strip going across. So here is the head unit that we're going with. It's from Extrons, and I'll just move the manuals to the side, and there is the masterpiece of a head unit screen. Let's get it out of there. Opening is just over on this side. That is a pretty big screen. With that away, just need to remove some of the more of the foam padding and get access to the wiring looms. So it looks like there's quite a few things. This is the GPS and Wi-Fi antenna as well. We've got a microphone point, or speaker, I guess is the best way to put it. Main harness just over here. So there is going to be a fair amount to get through here, but we'll get there in the end. Right, I'm gonna check the manuals, go through them a little bit and make sure I'm on the right page. After having a bit of a nightmare with the audio basically and getting that all set up, what I've realized is this line just here, it comes in automatically connected with this. It's like that basically, right? You need to disconnect that and plug in this adapter part here, which goes into the little grommet thing. Let me just turn my flash on just there. It goes into there, so need to route this underneath the center console and up, out, through. But I've been able to set up the head unit now, so it does work correctly, works with the whole car. I thought I would test everything first before trying to connect it all up, because the last thing you want to do is connect it all up and it doesn't work. So done all the troubleshooting now. The next step is to actually remove the glove box, which I've just put over there. It's held in by 4 screws over the top, one just over here and one over in the corner underneath this panel. Reason why I've done that is because it makes moving the wiring around so much easier, to get the wires from up here to come down through to the bottom area and everything else, and bringing over the wires for the USB and stuff like that, so it can be plugged into the glove box. This one, once you've wired it up to the harness here, if I turn the flash off from that, and I'm just going to use this flash, you can see the light where it's reflecting. That is where that light comes through. And then even with this one, you can see, you already can tell just from that alone just how much easier this is by not having the glove box here. So that's the reason why I'd highly recommend just, you know, fitting it on that way. It saves you a lot of time. So yeah, I'm just going to route the other one up into the top area, and then we can start look at putting everything back together, and this car is going to look completely different. So next up, what I've done is with my trusty torch, you can see that little bit of light just flickering there. That is through this gap. If you just take that panel off, then I fed in a long cable tie in through here. Now I'm just basically gonna tape this up, pull this auxiliary cable right through to the back, and after I've brought through the cable. I've basically, it's gonna be really awkward to get this thing out now, but underneath this fabric I drilled a little hole. I've been able to feed in the auxiliary cable, and now that cable has been brought into here, and when it's closed up, there's no wires on any side of the car. Happy days. And these tools are awesome. So now I just gotta set all this back up now that I know the cable is fitting perfectly, and I can deal with the rest. Guys, putting in this head unit was seriously hard work then. So been able to push it all the way back. What I realized was the best way was moving the actual harness off from the back here, making sure as many of the wires are tucked back in this corner, and the wires for this side are kind of routed in a way where it doesn't interfere with the block harness, because you've in essence got two of these blocks that now need to fit in there. Push it far back as far as you can, and then just quickly tighten up these two T20s. That's probably taken me the best part of an hour just to put that back in because of all the extra wiring there. So I don't want to make it seem like it's an easy job to anyone. It is hard work, and this will definitely test your patience. I wish there was a smarter way that they've done the wiring where it wasn't so bulky behind the actual head unit. But yeah. But let's get on with the next part of actually putting the screen back on. So the next step is actually to put this fascia back in. I've been able to connect it all up, and there's the 4 connectors. So GPS, the 4G, and the 2 connectors. I've connected it up this way just to make sure it all fits in nicely, but you know, you need to test everything out as best as you can beforehand. And yeah, now I'm going to just cover up the 2 side pieces and then put on the top and bottom fascias, because the last thing I want to do is have to put those in after the screen's in and then be like, oh no, I need to take the screen off again. So I'm going to do it this way around, and hopefully everything should be all good. The screen does need to be lifted up and then down, so it needs to go in here and then slotted downwards, and then these will line up as well. So yeah, up next, all of that should be back on. I've got this strip going along the top here. This was super hard to screw in at the top because of this gap, so yeah, that was not fun, but it's done now. Right, over here, the live and earth that I sent through to the back, and also the main command light, which also does the footwell lights as well, that's all been connected up. It's basically just here. The live is the pink and yellow, and the brown is the earth. Now I can tuck all of this away nicely and get all of the panels put back down, so that will be all looking perfectly clean. And just make sure you tuck these things away nicely as well, because you don't want it to interfere with the sliding mechanism or anything like that. So that's another thing I'm factoring in whilst doing all of this. And ladies and gentlemen, the car is actually finished. It's a pretty late night, but here is the finished results. We can see the strip for the ambient light has gone all the way over and across. We've got the screen all fitted up nicely. It is actually a pretty big screen if you can compare it to the size of the vents. Yeah, it's big. And yeah, we've got the front doors done, the rear doors. I think it's a good time for me to actually turn on the ambient lighting. So even with all of the lights on in the garage, let's see how bright it all is. And then if you have a look in the rear as well, had it set up to purple for the time being. We'll have a look at the Android head unit as well in a moment. Let's turn off these lights. So I know it does say about the bonnet being open, but that's because I just got everything on trickle charge for the time being. So straight away it asks if you want to set up your phone, but we're going to cancel that for the time being because we're not looking into that. But here is the actual head unit. You can see it works super fast. It was a little bit awkward to install because I feel like the instructions could have been a little bit better. You can go to the settings here, and just down in Android, you've got Wi-Fi. Turn it on. couple of things that I wanted to make you guys aware of as well is just here under Wi-Fi settings, make sure that turn on Wi-Fi automatically is on all the time. But it's basically got beautiful Google Maps, and you know, you can set up your directions, you can go anywhere you want to go, it's all set there. In here you can go into apps, you can download loads of apps, you can go into Google. I don't know if there's any others at the moment. If there are, then there'll be like extra pages here, but I don't think there's any extras here at the moment. You can turn the screen off by pressing here, turn it back on just by tapping on the screen, click back home. So using the back button here, it allows you to go back into your original controls. You got to make sure that audio is kept on aux, and then holding the back button again, it allows you to come back to the screen. And then you can even use the dials here to control this. So moving across. The other cool thing that I've noticed is if you change the temperature, it comes up at the bottom telling you what temperature you've changed it to, which is super nice. I don't know if it does anything with the heated seats. No, it doesn't. You've got controls over here which does control the volume. It's obviously not showing it out at the moment. So the phone buttons can actually be used to pair up with the screen. So by clicking this button here, you can set it up to bring up the actual navigation, and you can just basically do a lot of customization. The Wi-Fi is not that good in the garage at the moment, but you know, you've got a little bit of everything. Sadly, my channel didn't come up. Oh, that's sad. But you can search it up straight away. Boom. Ta-da! There we go. Subscribe. It basically works like a big tablet. And then we've got all the ambient lighting. If I turn off the car's original lighting, you can see all the colors. So if I turn the screen off, you get a really good look of all the ambient lighting. You got separate controls for the storage, the door handle, and the footwell light. So I'll just change those so you can see how they're all changing on their own. And the other really good thing about the ambient lighting is you can set it up to just solid colors like this. Look at how clean that looks. That looks so modern. The screen literally has brought this interior up to like a W205 setting, so it's very much like the newer one. So everyone, I think that's a good time to end the video. You know, we've done the ambient lighting, done the head unit. If this is something that you would like to get done to your car, please let me know. You can reach out to me on Instagram, on email, or I should hopefully have my website set up soon, so keep an eye out for that. But right everyone, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you feel like I could have done anything differently, leave it down in the comments down below, or just give me some words of encouragement. And if you are happy enough to, then please consider subscribing to the channel, because it means a lot to me and it really does make all of this hard work worthwhile. But for now everyone, catch you later. Peace out. Bye.